Howdy. We're going to use this video to take you through a demonstration of the simulation directly. The slideshow was helpful to an extent, but I know it's really nice to be able to see someone actually doing the input and making the decisions and clicking on things the way that they should be done. So I'm going to take you through that, and if you have any more questions on how to do the simulation, by all means feel free to reach out to me. I can launch a demo here. You will not be launching a demo. You will actually be entering the simulation yourself. It'll be here where it says simulation access. For the students, you'll have your own access. This is my interface as the instructor, so this won't look exactly the same. But you will be given an opportunity to access the simulation, and when you do, I'm going to pull this up here, it's going to look like this. All right, so you can open up these drop-down menus here. First thing it's going to ask you to do, as we've already discussed, is start with your startup decision. Let me take you through this before that. The case, here is the information on the case. You can click on here to read your case, and it gives you the manual that tells you everything you need to know about the company in the simulation, some of the key decisions that you're going to need to make. It's really important that you read this stuff in advance because it's a pretty complex number of variables to stay on top of, and you have to make sure that you are addressing all of the key factors. So I'm going to close this here. So you are to assume the newly created position of the Human Resource Director for a medium-sized firm with 660 employees. This is a company that has some serious problems, and they are struggling with morale, they're struggling with high levels of absenteeism and accidents, and they need to get some stuff fixed. And a lot of that information is here in the case, but your goal is you want to set realistic, measurable, quantifiable goals for the 3 fiscal years that you'll be doing this simulation. All right, so we start here with startup decision, and you're going to be asked to give a company name. Mine is already set up as Demo R Berkeley, which is obviously my lead-in, my login info, but you'll be then asked to hit startup decision. So we click on here and make sure that I like the name. I can add in whatever name, change it if I want to. I'm leaving it the way it is. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to hit click for finalize decision and then hit submit. And then hit OK, because I am certain that's the name I want to keep. Notice now that your menu changed over here. We have a large number of drop-down reports. From the video that you saw of the slideshow, you notice we have a bunch of decisions. We have our analysis options. We have the final reports, and we have some environmental information, and then our ability to advance or replay if we want to. So we'll start with our decisions, and we'll start with the staffing decisions. We know from looking here that we have projection of 1 person resigning from level 5, 2 resigning from level 4, 5 from level 3, 6 from level 2, and 50 from level 1, for a total of 64 employees that will be leaving. So I need to decide how many I'm going to hire and how many I'm going to promote. So I'm going to enter my decision. So here's a couple of things to pay attention to. I'm going to just assume, if I just assume that I'm going to hire all the people that are resigning, I just plug in the numbers like this, and all I'm going to do is rehire everybody that resigns. I also decided I'm going to be a little bit more assertive in the way that I recruit women and minorities in my company, because diversity is important to me. I'm going to finalize the decision and hit submit. So notice it has an analysis option here. I'm going to click on the analysis, which is going to actually bring us to this window over here. The analysis shows me, because I have a certain number of projected resignations and then I'm planning to hire for all those resignations, everything should be fine. I should have zeros across the bottom here, which I do, which means the projected number of employees that I need and then that I have versus the number I have that are required match, and it's a 0. So my total cost of hiring is about $231,000. Let me go back and show you a different scenario. I'm going to go back to the staffing option, and I'm going to enter a decision, and I'm going to decide that instead of um, 3 and 2, sorry, doing just straight hires, I'm also going to do promotions, and I want you to see what happens. Now you think that you've covered all the vacancies, correct? You're going to hire 50 at level 1. You have 6 vacancies at level 2, so you're going to hire 3, promote 3. At level 5, you've got 5. You're going to hire 2, promote 3. Level 4, hire 1, promote 1, and then down here at level 5, we're going to promote 1 there. So again, I'm going to submit that decision. I'm going to go into my analysis, and notice you're going to see something. Down here, we have a whole lot of vacancies still. We've got shortages. Why? If you notice, when we promoted people into new positions, we created more vacancies down here. So we created 8 more vacancies because we did 8 promotions. And so you need to hire people to address those promotions. So notice I'm short some 1, 1, 3, and 3. So I'm going to go back to my staffing decision here. I'm going to enter the decisions, and I realize that if I am going to promote 3 from here, I need to hire 3 more people here, right? Because I have those that were missing, plus I just promoted 3 people out of it. I promoted an additional 3 people out of here, so I need to do that. And then I have one more person here. I'm going to do 3, and then one more person there. I'm going to do 2. So what I just did here is I showed that since I was promoting 3 people out of level 1, I needed to hire 3 more people in level 1. I was promoting 3 people out of level 2 and putting them into level 3, so I needed to hire 3 to accommodate that. I'm promoting 1 person out of level 3 to level 4, so I needed to add a number there, and the same thing with level 5. I'm promoting 1 person, so I needed to make sure I hired an additional person at level 4 in order to meet that. So I'm going to submit this. I'm going to take you back into the analysis, and notice again, because we hired more people to accommodate those promotion losses, we have zeros in our shortages column. So let me refresh. When you hire and you only hire, there's no need to worry about if you hire exactly what you have in terms of projected resignations, you don't have any problems. The concern comes in when you add promotions, because promotions create vacancies above and beyond the initial vacancies that you had. And it's important that you do promotions. You don't want to do all promotions, but you do want to balance, as we've talked about previously. So it's important you account for these promotion losses at the different levels. So I needed to make sure that I hired an additional 8 people to account for those promotion losses, which we did here. And notice then that some of our costs go down a little bit by doing promotions. So our analysis says good. Our staffing levels are good, so we're fine here. We'll move on to wages. Wages, we could do nominal increases across the board. We can do $10 increase, $10 across for everybody, just to see what the impact would be. I know it's not going to be huge with $10, but that'll be interesting to see. So we'll hit that. We'll go to our analysis, and we'll see that, if we're going to increase number of employees, if we have the number of employees here that we have, we're going to increase their pay rate from $18,000 to $18,010 per quarter. The total cost for our payroll for the quarter is the raise that we're giving people, basically $65.50. So it's a function of the increase in pay, not a function of the total pay that will hit our budgets. So that's $6,500. In terms of benefits, we have nominal benefits, very high deductible benefits. So we can make a decision about what we want to do. We can add benefits if we want, but notice those are pretty expensive. 3% of your payroll, 6.8% of your payroll, 9.6% of your payroll. Those can be really important. So we can think about some things that might be a little cheaper to add, maybe a sick day. That might work. So we'll hit finalize and hit submit. Training analysis. We have to decide what kind of training we want. Now we need new hire and promotion training because remember, when we bring in new employees or we promote them to new positions, we want them to be successful. So they need training up front on the job so that they can be successful, and we need to make sure we account for that. So we need to go into our analysis first of all. Notice that we have 53 new hires at level 1, 9 new hires or promotions at level 2, 6 at level 3, 3 at level 4, 1 at level 5. That tells us this is the cost per employee for what it takes to train them immediately so they can do their job. And this is the total cost. So this is what we need to make sure we have in our budget, our training budget, $40,600 to make sure that we've got this money in our training budget. So we want to make sure we take note of that, $40,600. Go back to our training decision, enter our decision, and here for new hires and promotion, we're going to put $40,600 to make sure that we have made sure all of those new employees get the training they need to start their job right away. Now, other training opportunities. There's training for managers and supervisors, and you can decide how much you want to put in that. There's also safety training, if safety is important to you, and I'm going to say safety is important to me for my budget. I'm not going to worry about quality programs right now. I just want to make sure that I decrease my accident rates. That's an important goal for me. So I'm going to hit finalize, hit submit, and this again summarizes all the decisions that I made. $40,600 in new hire and promotion training, which we established in our training analysis. We have $10,000 general training for managers and supervisors, and then we have $15,000 on safety and accident training prevention. I didn't do anything for quality. All right. So again, going back to the training analysis, just to reiterate, you can see for every new employee we have at those levels, including new hires and promotions, we needed to ensure that we trained them up on the job as quickly as possible. It's new hire promotion training, and that was $40,600, and that's what we put in that aspect of the training budget. In terms of programs, we don't have any programs chosen at the present moment. We have to decide what kind of programs we want. I'm going to start with a orientation program. And I'm going to finalize that decision and hit submit. So I've committed $3,000 for an orientation program. Then we have our special decision. As we've talked about, you can watch a video here about the job analysis concern going on for the company. Waiting for that to come up. Doesn't look like it wants to come up anytime soon. You can read the incident here. So this gives you a summary. This information is also available to you in the Blackboard site, so you can review this. You can see the cost for doing any one of these issues. You have a whole sorts of options in terms of how to manage job analysis. I'm going to go with option 2, which is job analysis of my production and operations department. And so I have to make sure I budgeted $15,000 for that. So I'm going to enter my decision. I'm going to decide number 2, finalize and submit. And I'm going to click on decision summary so you see everything that I made the decision to do. I have a budget of $1.4 million. I don't have any expenses yet. My quarter 1 expenses are $386,000. And this is the hiring that I did, the target percentages, the kind of benefits that I wanted to add, the cost for hiring, cost for training for new hires, for managers, for safety. I implemented an orientation program, and I did the job analysis decision. Now, let me point something out to you. Our annual budget is $1.4 million, and as I said in our previous video, that averages out to about $350,000 a quarter. Notice I have gone over that allotment. That's a concern. So it might mean that I've been a bit too aggressive in some of the things that I wanted to set up. Maybe it's the pay, maybe it's a new benefit. So I have to go back and make a decision. Is that the amount of money I want to spend? Or should I go back and remove some of the programs that I've added here? So I'm going to go back to benefits, first of all, and I'm going to decrease the benefits right now. I'm going to get rid of that, all right, and submit that. So that should have an impact on my budget. And I'm also going to look at training, and I'm going to decrease my safety budget. So it'll go down to $10,000. And we'll see if that has an impact. And I'm going to go back to my decision summary and look at that. I'm below $300,000 because I got rid of the benefit of the vacation time. Notice that was only 1%, but that was a huge impact. And then I lowered $5,000 for decreasing my safety and accident training. So notice how expensive it is to increase benefits. You've got to make sure you've got some good cash available to you in order to be able to make aggressive increases in benefits over time. Let's see. Let's go into our budget analysis. Now, we went to the staffing analysis. We were sure that we had no shortages here. Our wage rate, we wanted to calculate what the overall cost for the wage rate increase. That was $6,500. We're good there. Our training analysis, we wanted to make sure that we had the appropriate number of new hire and promotion training dollars set aside, $40,600. We did that. And now we go to our budget analysis. So this tells us year to date what we've spent. This tells us what we spent in this quarter. This gives us a sense of what's remaining. We spent $1.4 million. We have $1.4 million to spend. We only spent $287,000. That leaves me $1,112,850. $112,850 remaining in my budget for the rest of this fiscal year, which is 3 quarters. So that should have everything we need. All right. Now, let's look at our environmental newsletter. This gives us a sense of what our budget is, any questions we have, tells us what our job analysis is supposed to be, etc. We don't have any reports yet because we haven't submitted yet. So I'm going to hit advance because I've made all the decisions that I want. My budget analysis tells me I'm well within my budget. My decision summary summarizes everything that I want to do. I'm good to do right now. I'm going to hit advance, and that moves me forward to the next decision. Are you ready to advance to the next period? And I hit OK. Just completed my first quarter. So now what I'm looking at is the results of the first quarter. If I want to go back to period 0, which is the initial position, that's 0. If I'm sitting here in period 1, that means I have done all 4 decisions that I need to make. All right, so looking at our reports, let's look at our dashboard. My hiring costs for quarter 1 came down. My productivity is still the same. Quality went up. No overtime, which means I did all the good hiring. So let's start now with staffing. Okay. So beginning number of employees. These are the number of resignations one could expect. This is what I did last period. All right. Now I needed to make sure that I hire the right amount of people. Here's all of our projected resignations, which is a concern. We want to make sure we have enough people. So we're going to be understaffed by this amount: 1, 2, 4, 5, 45, 57. Demographics. We are starting to see an increase in the percentage of female minorities. It's still fairly low in the upper levels, but it's a little bit higher in the mid-levels here. Same thing for minority groups. We want to go to compensation. We want to look at where we're at in terms of pay. And so we can see where we're at in terms of pay for people. Productivity, our quality index went up to 51, which is nice because we did some training. Projected productivity next quarter is 201, gives us a sense of what we created. In terms of overall performance, our benefits are about the same. Percentage of females and minorities are about the same. Absenteeism went down, which is great. Remember, absenteeism was almost 500. Turnover is about the same. Morale went up. Grievances are about the same. Accident rate went down. Productivity is the same. Quality went up. So far so good. We made some minor changes, and hopefully this will go up more over time. Let's look at our budget now. This gives us a sense of how we spend our money and making sure we're staying on track of our budget. The fact that we underspent for this quarter means we have more money to spend over the next 3 quarters. So we're going to do this sort of incrementally, right? So now I can do another decision if I want to. I can replay, and I can play around with this. I'm going to replay period 1, and I can decide, you know what, instead of doing 1 factor, I'm going to do something else. So instead of having this program, I might change my program. You have unlimited opportunities to continue to replay and replay and replay this, getting a sense of how the simulation works. That's why you have this advanced button. And then when you're done, you hit replay, and you can replay your first quarter over and over again. Please note, when you're ready to do the real simulation in another week, you're not going to get a chance to replay. All you can do is advance it and keep making decisions and moving forward. So be aware of that. All right. So just to summarize, you read your case here. You do your startup decision here. You have all of these decisions that you need to fill in, and you need to balance that with looking at your analysis reports, making sure you hire the right amount of people, setting appropriate wage rates that aren't going to drain you, making sure you're appropriately training your new hires and promotees, and that you're staying within your budget. Once you hit advance, then you can go back and look at your reports to see how well you're doing on the variables, and you use those reports to assess your goals, your goal achievement. Here's a good example of the newsletter. Tells you where you're at. I think we delete. Yeah, we got rid of number 1. You can always go back to that newsletter. It'll tell you how well you did for that previous quarter. When you are ready to go, you go into decision summary here, hit print your decision summary. Each of your reports, down from staffing to budget, hit print, get those reports. You can print them to a PDF and save them on your computer, but so you don't have to waste paper. But the goal is you do not want to lose this information, because if you lose it, you're not going to be able to get it back to write your individual simulation paper. Okay. So that's where we're at with all these variables. And if you guys have any questions, you need to let me know, and we'll talk to you soon.